Hey beauties, it's me, Marcella. I'm back again. So today we actually are going to talk about something that is, I guess, a continuation. Like all my videos relate somehow. So what we're going to talk about today, this particular video, you can say would relate to the cycle video. And the reason why I say that is because I gotta get my glasses together. The reason why I would say that is because we're going to talk, or excuse me, it wouldn't relate to the cycle video. It would relate to the actually it would relate to the cycle video, and also would relate to taking your ex back. That particular video. So it actually would relate to two videos today. So here's the thing. So I was talking to one of my great friends, love him a lot or whatnot, today. And I just love when me and my friends have great conversations. And me and this particular person can stay on the phone for hours at a time talking, or even in person talking or whatnot. So, I love him or whatnot. But, so we were talking about, I guess, on and off relationships in a sense. And that's what we're going to title this video, on and off relationships. Okay. So, I mean, I know everyone has had, a situation where they've been, in an on and off relationship for, however many years, or um however many times. Or you've gone back with your ex. Okay. Now, we already know my view on going back with exes. I wouldn't do it personally anymore, period. But I mean, I'm not knocking it if you do it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one of those people. Just like I don't smoke or drink on the real. Like, I don't smoke, drink, or consume any drugs or alcoholic beverages or anything like that. That's just my particular preference. But if you do, I'm not knocking that. So, taking exes back, and being in on and off relationships, right? Um, I've had two on and off relationships since I've been grown. Has it been two? Yeah, actually it has. Since I've been over the age of 18, it's actually been two. Um, if they're watching this, fuck their existence. I don't give a fuck. You can kiss my ass. But um, here's the thing. In my particular experience, and this is the reason why I don't take exes back and I don't go backwards and any of that, is because it was a reason why you guys broke up in the first place. There's no way to get around that. If you want to fix it, you can, but in my particular case, when I took these people back, our issues were beyond fixing. And I'm not about to put any effort or time into fixing something that cannot be reconcilable. That cannot be reconciled. I'm sorry. That cannot be reconciled. That's just my view on it. That doesn't mean that it's the Bible, because Marcella said it. It's just what I think in my particular case and what works for me. Um, Now, some people, they've been in an on and off relationship and they've moved on to get married. But in my particular instance with on and off relationships or whatnot, um, I'll tell you one particular case, right? I had an ex who was a lot older than me. Okay, for one, that was an issue. That was a fuck up in the first place. Okay, and he would come in my life, and then he would leave my life. He'd come in my life, he would leave my life. And it just was like, damn, is anything, am I ever going to be good enough for you? Like, just me. Am I going to be good enough to be with you? And then, like, one day I just wised up. Like, I came to the conclusion, like, you know what? I'll never be what you want. So why don't you go find what you want with someone else? Like, it was always an excuse. Like, um, it would go from one extreme to the other. Like, oh, I really like you, let's get back together, blah, blah, blah. One day. And then 2 days later, we're back together. And then 3 days later, oh, Marcel, I just don't want to be with you. I can't explain it. Bye. Do you know what I'm saying? Which, thinking about back on it now, like, it was a real bitch move. And he's a real bitch ass motherfucker for doing the shit. But whatever. That's in the past. But I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only person who has gone through that particular situation. And the reason why this particular video would relate to the cycle video, I'm just checking the time. The reason why this particular video would relate to the cycle video is because, that in itself is a cycle. It's not directly a cycle like, who you're attracted to, but it is a pattern. And whenever you find that a pattern does not work for you and what you're trying to do, like it may not be conducive with your living situation or what works for you, then it should be stamped out. You should figure out what's going on to make you keep choosing this particular person or keep going back to this particular thing and completely get rid of it. Period. So, I mean, it would go from one extreme to the next extreme. And I couldn't really figure out, like, why is this happening? But a lot of times in on and off relationships, it's nothing that the person, like, let's say you're truly the victim, because some people, will holler that they're the victim and not really be the victim. But let's say you're truly the victim. In some instances, if you're truly the victim, there's nothing that you could have done that would have made circumstances different. It's something fucked up in them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just like the female or the male in the relationship who wants to cheat. And they start a stupid ass argument with you because you served them a cold cut sandwich and the cold cuts weren't ice cold. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? And then now they want to cheat. It's the same fucking concept. Except for it's in a different situation. So the best way to deal with that, in my opinion, is to identify if that is happening for one. And whose side is it happening on? Like, okay, you've already taken this motherfucker back one time. Do you have to really go back 2 and 3 times, again? You want to figure out, like, whose side is that happening on? And then when you find out, okay, well, maybe it's happening within me. Like, maybe I'm the one who's saying, no, I just don't want to be with you. Why are you still taking her back? Like, if you just don't want to be with them. Or why are you still taking him back if you just don't want to be with him? Like, just say, I don't want to be with you. My ship doesn't sail backwards, and let's keep it moving. Or if you are the man in the situation, you're like, okay, well, here's the reason why I really just don't want to fuck with Marcel anymore. The reason why I don't want to fuck with Marcel anymore is because Marcella's teeth are crooked. Whatever. Don't go back. Stick to that and keep it moving. Stick to whatever path it is that you have in your life and roll with that. Don't go back on your word, because that can be damaging to yourself, because that whole situation is unhealthy, and it also can be damaging to the person who's in the situation. Like, this person could be a really good person, but they're just not a really good person for you. So because they're not just a really good person for you doesn't mean that they can't be a really good person for somebody else. So recognize that and let that person go. So let me check the time. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and cut this video down. I really, really enjoyed talking with you guys today. It's been a pleasure, as it always has. Thank you so much for my on the support for my Sexy Saturdays. vlog that I've started. And who do I have to shout out? I don't think I have anybody to shout out today. So